Bonjour everyone, Pantoufleee here today to take a look at the brand new tank that is just out in the shop and obviously and unfortunately in crates, the Type 57, a brand new tier 8 Japanese heavy tank, probably here to celebrate the fact that we finally have those Japanese in the tech tree. And well, all I gotta say is that the tank, beside every single statistics, just looks cool as hell. It truly looks like something out of the future, and Wargaming truly perceived that because when you buy this tank, you actually get the possibility of owning a camo called Mecha, and well, it truly makes it look like something out of a sci-fi movie, which is pretty cool. Now, of course, I'm pretty sure that you saw the resemblance between the Object 252U and this new tier 8 Japanese heavy tank, the Type 57, because both tanks seem to share kind of the exact same hull, but are there main differences between both? This is what we're gonna find out. First of all, when we take a look at the tank and especially the statistics of the gun, you will see that it's going to suffer, especially on the gun accuracy, because your aim time and your gun dispersion are really bad. Gun dispersion is approximately 0.35, which means that you're gonna miss probably one shot out of 3 or something like this. And the aim time, boys, 5.5 seconds. It's just huge for a tier 8 heavy, which means that you are supposed with this tank, or it implies that you need to fight close to your target. It's not a tank with which you are going to play either second line or worse camp. For the other aspects, let's say that the tank is pretty cool, especially the gun depression, because it's 9 degrees. And trust me, 9 degrees is huge because it allows you to have a lot of flexibility, especially at tier 8, because I'm not necessarily sure that beside maybe the T32, which is the American Tech Tree heavy tank, I don't think the others have the possibility of getting such a good gun depression. Now for the others, average damage 430 per shot, so a massive shell when you finally hit your opponent, and the penetration that is not something to cry about because it's actually a really good one, 218 with your regular, 260 with the gold. Now if we focus a little bit on the rest, let's say that for a tank that is looking like an Object 252U, it's a little bit faster and will do a little bit better on the battlefield, because as you can see, the average speed is 31 kilometers per hour and you have the possibility of climbing to 39. Of course, you can increase that by using the right provisions, for example, the improved fuel and the engine accelerator. But beside that, well, you don't necessarily have the fastest tank ever, but not necessarily the slowest either. So if we summarize what we just said, we have a tank that is mobile, not the worst, not the best, but at least mobile enough for you to do the job, with a gun that is really crazy when it hits, because it's gonna hit hard, but with a big downside, which is its accuracy, forcing you to play closer to your targets. But what about the armor? Here, guys, you are not gonna be disappointed. Just take a look at this. Frontally, 340 millimeters all around, and I'm not even talking about the sides of that frontal extremely angled plate. For the rest, and especially the turret, you are not going to be in rest either, because you are actually packing some serious possibilities of bouncing. But keep in mind that you still have this little weak spot for the tank destroyers or anything that has above 230 millimeters of penetration. So be careful when you're aiming at someone that they don't shoot either here. I think the only weak spot is right there close to it, or maybe here if they are a little bit more lucky on their penetration roll. On top of that, you have a little weak spot, which is the cupola, but based on the tank plus the attachment, it's kind of hidden and not necessarily that people will try to shoot here. Of course, you have the weak spot, which is the lower part of the hull, and it's kind of a big one here, so you truly need to make sure that every time you take a position with this tank, your lower part of the hull is hidden. And if you do that and only show this plus this, you should not struggle at all bouncing anything, tier 9 included. It's also a great tank for you to be able to side scrape, because it looks like it has the exact same hull as the one we have on the T22 medium, because it just makes sense that you have more than 500 millimeters of armor on this plate right there, but you still have this weak spot here. If people are intelligent enough to sneak their shells here, you you know what, just in case, maybe that you should just stick to an hold down position and try to minimize the way you're doing hold down, or at least make sure not to do it too much. And don't worry, as the tank is naturally angled, even if you use your hold down abilities like that, except that little weak spot here that can be penetrated, the rest of the tank is pretty much a good one for side scrape. But this right there, when people will learn how to play against the tank, will be a nightmare, and therefore you will not probably hold down side scrape anymore with it. But we talk, but what about the tank in practice? Let's find out. So guys, how do you want to play it? I'm gonna say that there are 3 steps to playing that tank correctly. The first is using your mobility to be able to take an advanced position. And I feel like I'm repeating myself because every time Wargaming is releasing a new heavy premium, it's always the case. You need to advance to a good position. Because as you can see, we are pretty fast. Look at this, we're going 40 kilometers per hour and we're reaching that speed in no time. And of course, it's gonna give us a great advantage because what we're gonna do right now is taking a central position from which I will be either able to sneak some shells on whatever I see on the front, like this Yak Tiger, but also make sure that they stay in the back and therefore gives me a huge advantage. So the Yak Tiger doesn't seem to be bothered by me. I'm gonna try to sneak another one. Can I penetrate with HE? No. Not a problem, guys. 2 shots, and as you can see, the crazy 430 alpha damage really does the job here because, obviously, when you sneak 2 shells, you already finished off 2/3 of the hit points of the guy you're in front of. So there we go, we are gonna keep going, and it seems like for the moment we are pretty lucky with our snapshots because, well, I want to remind you, you have 0.35 of gun dispersion. Now it's not the time to just camp around. We want to do something. We sneak a shell on the T-28 Defender, but unfortunately for us, they are probably all gonna try to shoot me. Not a problem, we are gonna try to only show our tank. There we go for the first bounce of the boy. We are gonna try to get close to him because he only has 3 shots in the magazine. We tried to block the shot. Once again, it worked. This is the kind of things, by the way, that you really want to do with this tank. And now we face suck. Now we are a little bit in struggle because we truly don't want to make it happen. We don't want to die from this, but yeah, it's probably going to be the case as I'm not receiving any help. Not a problem. We focus first on this boy. We are going to try to get as many shots as possible because it's important to be able to kill him. No, I don't want to take the shot here. 4, 3. Can I maybe kill it with HE if I'm lucky enough? No, I'm not going to be lucky enough, I guess. Come on, please, boys. Please help me. I don't want to die, not like this. Come on, it's stressful. No, we're not gonna die. Oh, we are, yeah. At close range, as I told you, 94 millimeters of armor in the cupola. It's not that effective. But what did this game shows us? It shows us 2 things. When you are not necessarily outnumbered like I was, you can do things, because 3.5k damage is a pretty decent game for a tier 8-1. And at the same time, you can't expect people not to know your weak spots at close range, which is how I think Wargaming balanced the tank. They know that at long range, it's completely a bad tank because of its accuracy, which means that you're forced to be first line. But as you are first line, even if those weak spots are small, you still have a lot of them. The cupola, this little part right there, even the cupola of the commander at the front. You see, all of those things are kind of make this tank balanced, at least a little bit more than an Object 252 that doesn't have any weak spot on the hull. Now for the second game, it's the first time I actually play on Castilla, and I'm like, wow, this is some great, definitely a great map right there. They did a good job. But hey, we're not here to talk about the map, we're here to focus on that fella. So, as it's a new map, or kind of on the texture, I don't even remember how we climb this. I guess I got the trick. Yes, I do. We are gonna go straight to the middle for 2 reasons. The first is we are a tank that has good mobility, and the second one is if we're not close range, we're probably gonna miss every single one of our shell. So there we go. We play aggressively because we are entitled to this. So there we go, there we go. Can we sneak a shot on the T-54 lightweight? Yes, we can. 443. This is one of the good advantage of playing not with a 430 alpha damage gun, but rather a 401, but rather playing with a 431. Because obviously you are in place, boy. You are in place. Come on. I really had to miss this one. Not a problem. We have the KV-5 with us, and he's probably going to be of a lot of help. There we go. We sneak a shell on the Panther, and I'm probably going to be able to sneak an HE on the side. No, I can't. No. Okay, we're not going to bother. After all, we have other targets to chase. We take the shot. I was expecting that. Not a problem. Finishing off the target, and now heading back on the T-44. Let's try to make him bounce. Yes, we did. Straight in the tracks. And now, boy, fear me. You have to fear me. Oh. Am I gonna bother with this? Yeah. Okay, so we have the WZ Blaze and a Shihei or whatever it's called here. So we need to be careful what we are doing. Am I gonna show myself to the Emil and Shisei, or am I gonna show myself to the others on the other side? I think that my choice is clear here. If I go on the Shisei and the Emil, I'm gonna get snapped. But at the same time, it seems like the Juto doesn't want to push me anymore. It's a good thing, because look at this. There we go, 538 damage. This is what I call being effective. Now there's the Juto. We are gonna try to make him bounce. We get close to him. Is he gonna be able to get it? Yes, he is. Not a problem. We sneak a shell. We are getting our gun damaged. It seems like in a 1-on-1 situation, that tank is not the best because your cupola is quite easy to get. Not a problem. I'm gonna go for a gold shell just to be sure. And boom, we kill the guy. But you see that, well, even if on paper it seems like a crazy tank, in definitive, you can easily get outmaneuvered even by a lower tier tank. Like this tier 7 managed to sneak 3 on me. With a 252U, I'm not necessarily sure that it would be able to do the same. But we still did a good game, 2.8k, and when we take a look at the credit numbers we were making with this tank, it's actually really decent, because we did 100,000. It seems like the repair cost of that tank is not necessarily the highest, which is a good thing. So in definitive, even if on paper, yes, this tank looks amazingly good, it seems like it's balanced by its accuracy, forcing you to be at close range and making you weak because of all of those weak spots. So is it a good tank to get? If you already have an Object 252U, I don't think that this tank is worth it. But at the same time, if you're a little bit down by the Object 252U mobility, this can be a good choice as well. So if I had to summarize, I would say it's an Object 252U with less armor but better mobility. So now the choice is yours. So hopefully, guys, you enjoyed. If that's the case, feel free to subscribe, like, and share. And personally, I'm gonna see you soon for a new video. Bye.